beneath the surface. And through the many mouths of that cavernous system resides a world within the world, chasms of things beyond human comprehension. It is this unfathomable darkness that calls out. The echoes are heard in monasteries, in temples, in churches and mosques from beneath. Those wretched holes beckon us with a devil complex.
You are lost. You are searching for something. My mind can be so demented, but the light deceives what regret is. I believe in repentance, the man of the night believes in perspective. The skies seem empty when I write and scream for a message. My mind, body, and soul play tug of war for an undivided need of attention. Stop, experiment with saws, wandering the possibilities of raw. During long nights, pondering the probability of God. Smearing lies, switchblade wipe the tears from my dad's eyes. Fear can hijack minds, here's a life hack, die. Justify a rape as they bleed in the dirt, yeah they scream cause it hurts. People think they're the best, well I often think I'm the worst. Haunted by faith, I don't know why I wanna slaughter and take lives, but a newborn has to be taught how to hate, right? Things slip into your bloodstream until you lose your mind. Make a daydream, let's take a trip to the neurotropics, just you and I. Anything happy and bright makes my shoulder blades writhe, so fuck Eden, my paradise is rolling snake eyes. I feel no pain within my soul, this evil scrapes against my skull. You're only comfortable in chaos cause you're afraid to be alone. You and me, we're not the same. You're locked in faith, I'm off the chain. Insidious with all the ways my awful brain can operate. Then my shadow in a courtyard, he got dragged down a well. This my devil complex and I'm a bat out of hell. Bodies round a burning church won't mask out the smell. This a devil complex and I'm a bat out of hell. I manipulate the broken just cause I adore their emptiness. I hold wolves by their ears right before beheading them. Wet dreams of carcasses and coffins. I'm barking with my conscience that I started to acknowledge that I'm a narcissistic goblin. I've been sexually obsessed with the sound of the knife tearing since the day that my alter ego devoured the primary. Now I cannibalize angels until I leave my fiendish soul rotten. I'll cock an eye at Satan as I fuck a demon's skull sockets. You're just a maggot crawling from rotten mahogany. My meaningless thinking often coincides with Platonic philosophy. Yeah, my brain is probably the most corrupt on the planet. Things transform the innocent into monsters, disgusting and rancid. I'm fascinated by the chemistry of eternal torment and mind-boggled by the physics of the infernal courses. Listen, freedom is not within the God particle's purview. America's talents pluck the wings from your cardinal virtues. Yeah, evil taught me religion, and religion taught me mind control. Art taught me history, and history taught me life is cold. Now I'm constantly stressed cause every day I struggle to act normal. After family deaths I hold back, laughs muffled and act mournful. Each person I meet sees a face that isn't mine like Texas Chainsaw. Found the meaning of life and got the answers to a test of faith wrong. Nerve cells differ from a man of God to a man of God's death. My killing intentions spark a skull-shaped Mandelbrot set. I'm cursed with forgiveness, but fucking gifted with hatred. Murderous, Stygian, I am the glitch in the matrix. I live by the pen but die by the sword, cause the might of my lead depicts how you can live by the sword but die by the pen. And they say every atheist turns to God in their final moments, when they're losing blood by themselves out in the wild open. And most no longer want suicide once being chased by a murderer. It's mind-bending and I dream to one day be the face of their curvature. Sight spill sickle cells that I stomp the life of their body's chest awfully. I don't even walk with death, death walks with me. I am the root of all evil for the future of my family tree, tangled within the inescapable stupor of misanthropy. I've never been a party person, I'm simply a lone wolf. And after so much personal study, my human heart grows mold. Let broken glass from a potion beaker play head to chemist. This is self-aware cells dying in a philosopher's brain. Metaphysics. Then my shadow in a courtyard, he got dragged down a well. This my devil complex and I'm a bat out of hell. Bodies round a burning church won't mask out the smell. This a devil complex and I'm a bat out of hell. My shadow in a courtyard, he
got dragged down a well. This my devil complex and I'm a bat out of hell. Bodies round a burning church won't mask out the smell. This a devil complex and I'm a bat out of hell.
Do you feel this? Do you feel that dark abyss? All your deeds laid bare, all your sins punished. I can offer you an escape.
If you have no recollection of the life that you think was previous, the reincarnation points to living as being meaningless. But you can't disprove souls in the sense of fusion and sound, cause you can't destroy energy, you can only move it around. The evil humanity is suited for can make religion fitting, and the chances of us being in a simulation are 50-50. But if you look in terms of basic science, it's depressing. I'm tearing my hair out trying to challenge a nihilistic ending. Corpses pushing daisies, death gives life to magnolias, but the phases in between make my nightmares blind pareidolia. Flip knife cause organ ruptures as guts divide from flesh. God weeps and thunder cracks from the butterfly effect. What if ancient stories among the temple cults and followings or primal depictions of incomprehensible technology? An iPhone could be magic depending on perspective, and the shape of my skull is a paradox ascending from its remnants. But my personal self is nothing to brag about or boast. There's pain behind these magnetic lyrics and my dragon mouth explodes, because nihilism dragged me out my home and smashed me down to folds, extracting my will to live, leaving only a man without a soul. So what is the purpose of living on this earth when society's so twisted, constricted at birth? What is the reason of human existence when life is so empty and ruled by the wicked? What is the purpose of living on this earth when society's so twisted, constricted at birth? What is the reason of human existence when life is so empty and ruled by the wicked? What is the purpose of living on this earth when society's so twisted, constricted at birth? What is the reason of human existence when life is so empty and ruled by the wicked? What is the purpose of living on this earth when society's so twisted, constricted at birth? What is the reason of human existence when life is so empty and ruled by the wicked? I'll wipe my own blood over the faces of Greek statues and tremble as the philosophers begin to crack as it settles, feeling like I am sick in the core, violence beginning to spore. We are dying from the minute we're born, life is a sinister form. Have you ever grasped the true insignificance of your life? The size of the universe, it's not a gift that you're alive. I don't even judge the crooked in power because my mind relishes with the rotten, and I have a bone to pick with the skeletons in my closet. I'm trying to follow reason to have virtue, but to me it's reasonable to rip a man in half as a demon scream in my skull. Epistemologist with position, jawline pistons prop within. Mechanical Epictetus, pissed at lacking remorse for pistols popping mist. Terminator-esque because I've accepted this is pointless. Look into the cosmos, I'm guano. My head is driven by the voices, challenging viewpoints guided by whispers that swell with viciousness. Bashing two people of different cultures, brains together for relativism. Eating lost kids to carnivorous plants that fizz through the juicy flavors. As mushrooms grow from corpses, I contribute to human nature. I'm not a savior, the system should not be saved, cause damn it, I'd rather exterminate with a giant mech that dominates the planet. What is the purpose of living on this earth when society's so twisted, constricted at birth? What is the reason of human existence when life is so empty and ruled by the wicked? What is the purpose of living on this earth when society's so twisted, constricted at birth? What is the reason of human existence when life is so empty and ruled by the wicked? What is the purpose of living on this earth when society's so twisted, constricted at birth? What is the reason of human existence when life is so empty and ruled by the wicked? What is the purpose of living on this earth when society's so twisted, constricted at birth? What is the reason of human existence when life is so empty and ruled by the wicked? first? Oh, okay. Fucking don't like that guy, he's too positive. I like to make people laugh and feel good inside, so that my own thoughts of loneliness can get pushed aside. I battle clusters of bad thoughts with reciprocated rebellions, as I make connections with the weak and manipulate the intelligent. I believe in the higher power, but don't follow a religion. Every book is a piece of knowledge that I swallow for a vision. I applaud my own skill and all the riches of bars I script, while wallowing in self-hate like a contradictory narcissist. For me, trust was dangerous and traitorous faith-wise, so I'm dangerous to trust while I cold read and double speak at the same time. My family would never understand my fear engrossed mind. Born a good person, but slowly decay each year that goes by. I don't have abandonment issues, I never felt close in the first place, so I treat love like a joke and self-loathe on my birthdays. I try to be positive and lend a hand to those who can't work it out, but instead of pulling them up, I yank myself further down. Yo, I'm Tyler, the more menacing negative version that ascended the surface on the depths of his chest as a person, fantasizing over lustful murder just for the fuck of it, with bubbling blood I itch to shove verse and coloring up in the stomach skin. I'm a bastard worm whose mind is entrapped in a Catholic curse, violently gag when I pass a church and maniacally laugh at a massacre. Nothing matters, so why shouldn't I act as I please, eating flesh, letting the blood gush from the back of my teeth? I used to want to kill myself, now the one reason I think I'm depressed is because there's consequences if I were to fiendishly beat you to death. Looking at the stars, like how many different ways could I send you to God, as a message responds to the way he designed my head with these thoughts. I'm attracted to darkness, masochist gawking as death sicko claws me, seeking guidance from the heat like missile locking. I stare into the void and want to reach inside it, peek and climb in, and hold close that pitch blackness that I feed my mind with. I'm the vampire in the mirror, the wriggling blood-sucking leech, trying to ignore the devil's call as it tugs from beneath. Fuck helping others, first I got to handle myself, or else the weight of my ill intentions will drag me to the mantle of hell. But maybe that's not so bad, Satan's a bitch, rebel in the feud. I might just praise God cause he killed millions when the devil killed a few. Maybe I should embrace those slick black shadows that haunt me and take the lives of an innocent man and his offspring. If I really am insensitive and the most worthless of garbage, then you should not be surprised when you're fucking turned to a carcass. What, you think an anarchic nihilist wants to comply with your rules when you blindly worship political figureheads who make money by lying to you? Settle down, both of you, those angles are feeble and iniquitous. You're both just projecting confusion on people who don't give a shit. There's no such thing as good nor evil, only what's convenient for humans. There's no dark or light, just what society deems as its blueprints. And you can't complain about depression if you don't try to better yourself. You let your problems bottle up inside till you fester and melt. I'm tired of hearing complaints from people stuck in one mind. Drink some water, get some sleep, and go see the fucking sunlight. And God's laughing whenever you wipe those tears with a switchblade, and he's sure as hell smiling when I strike fear through your ribcage. But is it all really worth it? There's no proof of an awaiting afterlife, so technically who has the right to stop us from taking that to mind? If I really wanted to kill myself, my hands wouldn't struggle shaking. Wait, stop, life sucks, get over it. Stop being a fucking baby, being a selfish piece of shit again. Just put down the pistol. It's my own fault that I'm tearing my hair out in fistfuls. Stop looking at that knife and start looking at that pencil. Trace dots down in poetic form like pushing through a stencil. I'm nothing but the fly with broken wings who's trapped in these lost, crawling over ideas of division that have been spawned from rational thought. You say universal karma's real with how you conjure shit. Your positive attracts negative and negative attracts positive. Does evil exist? Well, just take a look at nature, please. Our taboo ideas are basically make-believe. I'll donate to charity while setting apartments ablaze. I'd replace my organs with cybernetic weapons if I didn't have a heart in the way. I'll talk someone out of suicide as they're hurting and sweltering in hopes of being the one to kill them out of murderous jealousy. Carry a head in the left hand that was severed at the neck, while on the other hand holding a Bible out of the pressure from his death. And that isn't some deep concept of duality or something primitive. It's basically the argument that you're a fucking idiot. Whoa, 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 calm down, sit back and slowly breathe this in. You're contradicting your knowledge of energy just by overthinking it. Just because we're a gray area isn't an excuse to hate religion, but it's time we stop studying philosophy and look at basic physics. Meditation and prayers harness a specific type of energy. Yoga, full lotus concentration can lift the mind through anything. But does evil exist, and better yet, am I evil? If useless pawns of existence is how both nature and I would define people, the answer is yes. And if God is real, then he knows what it's like. I've seen police get away with rape but then boast with their pride. There's people stuffing their face with food completely oblivious, while children are starving as they fucking sink in oblivion. Explain the existence of parasitic worms whose only purpose is they give blindness to impoverished children who don't deserve it. That's why I'm grateful for where I stand and try to keep my chin up. Then when I'm up to my neck with problems, I don't need to give up. But the split personality is leaving me shattered. Crooked smile in public when the pieces are scattered.
This one's for the weirdos. Lysergic acid distortion, guru of diseases. To the monasteries. Yo.
Sunlight damages my skin, so I lurk in the shadows. Beware my extending hands from the abyss. Snatch kids and drag them to the blackness where I live. Seek what Dracula feigns with a natural length, and they quench the agony within. Mindset of a mutant, I struggle with despair. Squeezing a beating heart till it sprays, just so love is in the air. Gazing at statues of Indian gods, I fold in the dark as the potential of ancient Polymelia pulls me apart. There's nasty cysts in my skin, glowing with scabs leaking. When I hunch forward, see eyeballs down my back blinking. A fully grown beast who was born malign and wicked. Psoriasis, dragon skin wobbling toward prey with Hydra syndrome. Manipulative liar, when at my roots I will gaslight. Set you ablaze, tied to a tree in the desert. Vista hills have eyes, and it's physically visible as my personalities fight for control. Look like I've got 6 heads writhing on the sides of my skull. Ugly, gross, mutated, and deformed. I've been a beast since the day that I was born. Disgusting, foul, abomination, manifestation of monstrous hatred. Ugly, gross, mutated, and deformed. I've been a beast since the day that I was born. Disgusting, foul, abomination, manifestation of monstrous hatred. Ugly, gross, mutated, and deformed. I've been the beast since the day that I was born. Disgusting, foul, abomination, manifestation of monstrous hatred.
Bust out of my cocoon like give me room, you bitches move. I've been hiding out of view. Where am I consumed with doom? By the pale light of the moon, I'll be yelling like a loon as I bring hell up from my tomb, and it envelops all of you. Behold the metamorphosis, 3 heads like King Ghidorah, bitch equipped with twin swords that's flinging chorus, bloody war commence, horror to the core. I was born to fucking battle, yes, I cut up in a totem as I'm rolling in with Shadow X. 6 limbs covered in lizard skin, cold-blooded as I'm listening. There's ancient pharaohs whispering that tell me to commit these sins. The frigid cold is blistering, I shiver as I'm slithering. I hunt and kill till winter's end while feeding on these injured men. My third eye has been blinded by this violence for some time. I'm an abomination, freaking nature, rage flood in my mind. Been confined inside my wasteland, but I'm out now and it's crunch time. With a smile on my face as I erase your fucking bloodline.
Ugly, gross, mutated, and deformed. I've been the beast since the day that I was born. Disgusting, foul, abomination, manifestation of monstrous hatred. Ugly, gross, mutated, and deformed. I've been the beast since the day that I was born. Disgusting, foul, abomination, manifestation of monstrous hatred. Ugly, gross, mutated, and deformed. I've been the beast since the day that I was born. Disgusting, foul, abomination, manifestation of monstrous hatred. Chromosome 7 translocation, freakishly altered. Lobster claw malformation, I'm seen as a monster. 8 cutaneous horns along with feet pointed backwards. When joints retract, the voices cackle poison laughter. Anointed with the roiling pattern of boiling rash burns, coiling faster and contemplating the choice to destroy you bastards. I'll dig through your chest and make elbow roam deep in the carved flesh and grip your guts when you try to run. I keep you at arm's length, fingers wrapped around your intestines as blood is spurting. I'll say you can live, then go behind your back and leave your stomach turning. I'm lethal and vicious, a fiend who's convinced to beat is so sweet and delicious. I look like medieval depictions of a demon so evil and wicked. A carnival freak running out of the gaping clown's mouth, gut churning with a chainsaw to scrape your bowels out. Jumping through hoops, I'll send you to hell with Cerberus birthed in fire. Lead more cast through those blazing portals than working with circus tigers. Ugly, gross, mutated, and deformed. I've been the beast since the day that I was born. Disgusting, foul, abomination, manifestation of monstrous hatred. Ugly, gross, mutated, and deformed. I've been the beast since the day that I was born. Disgusting, foul, abomination, manifestation of monstrous hatred.
Ugly, gross, mutated, and deformed. I've been a beast since the day that I was born. Disgusting, foul, abomination, manifestation of monstrous hatred.
Psychedelic ego death. Volcanic sacrifice.
Chalice.
The man with the devil complex. Yo. If we really came from a family of apes and cruel happenings, and why are humans surprised at utilizing brutal savagery? See, I'm a worthless glob of a rotten melted substance. So 4 billion years of evolution have led to thoughts of self-destruction. My European ancestors are racist cluster bits of cow dung, and I know my history, so my heritage is nothing to be proud of. But it's funny seeing my father represent a Confederate flag, cause he's an uneducated wretch who can't even follow the steps for a dad. See, I was taught to follow Christ, that was told to praise Jesus by people who nitpick the Bible for illogical faith pieces. Like, how should I feel about this brainless filth my father carries if our bloodline traces to Vikings who raped and pillaged monasteries? If we have connections to people who conquered African tribes and forced them to comply with an ideology scattered with lies. The Bible supports slavery and your God has killed more than your devil has. He blames his creations on themselves and yet you revel that. So Dad, I want you to know that before recording this I prayed for your death. I sat with legs crossed, hands folded and raised in my head. And yet I'd never be a Satanist with all faith destroyed. I'll sharpen my crucifix against a demon's spine just to make this point. You see, as a kid I had no father, alone from ages 1 to 5. And during those years I learned that reliance was a waste of my fucking time. Now my heart's returning to its primal version, salivating after pounding my chest hard enough to slightly purge the palpitating. With an animalistic savage mind, boiling bones down to get every nutrient possible out of roiling ghosts out. Because a whiff of that God makes my own soul warble and move. I'm trying to drown the Holy Spirit's possessions in a primordial soup. What are the real origins of man? Did we begin as fish, swimming away from extinction on the land, flipping fins? It sure would explain why my neck muscles flex whenever I hiccup, and I get urges to force gills in my throat where I sever the skin from. Did you know that the symbol of ichthys means fish in ancient Greek? The lines even make the shape, yet it's an acronym made for Jesus Christ. You can find it marked in Christian tombs and old meeting places. While on a scale of my outer self, it makes my soul scream in hatred. Gulping for air out of water and fucking suffocating. Struggling in a puddle of my blood while my lungs are subjugating. But it's interesting, that same fish evolved to a reptile, which explains my cold-blooded tendencies and monstrous head style. Rough skin, knots in the back of my skull, attracted to heat, and pitch blackness, doing push-ups near fire, preparing to battle my dreams. Simple-minded, primitive chameleon, gnashing my teeth, attacking my thinking patterns, clawing at it, I scratch till it bleeds. I carried the torch for God's shadow, but he pulled the handle from me, and now I bite whatever hand that tries to hold a candle to me. And if science is accurate, that lizard morphed to a prehistoric cat, which got smaller and smaller, evolving into some sort of rat. And I used to be the prey, and now to my own I've grown to a predator. You're on the wrong end of the spectrum if you chose my competitors. Cats rat and other cats out. The only way I'd project that force is by making one of you pussies into a mice-infested corpse. Then after various trials of natural selection, primates began to use tools and then battle with their weapons. But to be honest with you, I don't know what to believe in anymore. Sacred texts have been retranslated and misinterpreted deep into their cores. History lies in its written form. Scholastic truth is fucking eroded, so each war sounds different depending on the country who wrote it. Governments can't own their mistakes, so they exaggerate the truth and spread false narratives the same way that is in the news. And if the Vatican archives have books that are banned from the public because if they saw the truth we'd riot back and damage corruption, then how can I trust even the simplest science book either? How can I trust evolution or aliens if they can be hiding their secrets? And that, my friends, is one of the reasons that I value perspective, sharpening my tribal spirit both ends so no one can outdo my methods. Dark duality.
strength of the vampire is that people will not believe in him. To die, be really dead, that must be glorious.
There is a great evil coming. I bite chunks out of souls and wag my tongue with searing mandibles. The ether in my stomach can break down spirit animals. I once thought I was the Antichrist as my hatred for humans swelled. The only thing I'm afraid of is the potential of my future self. I looked at God and he's the one who got blistering eyesores. I'm an eyesore. When my fist and your skull connect, I make your eyes sore. With one swing, I chop the wings from Icarus's eye sword and chill the devil's heart with an ice sword. Or so I swore. I'm a beast in the darkness with a tongue that scorched skeletons. Morph hellions into forms of warped elements. A sorcerer's intelligence, born elegant. While on the side, my mouth protrusions clash with knights in shining armor like war elephants. There's sickness in my jawlines. My spit is wicked, not right. Depict the gifts of God's light in increments of lost minds. I'll snag your baby and devour him whole during the baptism. For trying to force religion down my throat, like how is that different? And if you wanna cross me for stringing that together, I'll slit your neck with the crucifix so deep they can't stitch it back together. I said that's forcing religion down throats like windpipe bruises for me strangling the fifth chakra out of a Hindu bitch. I'm ruthless. My inner demons cry behind my chest as they screaming. I puke up devil horns just wearing a necklace of Jesus. I don't know what to believe in anymore as I sink through the floor, and my evil absorbed mind is screaming for more. None of my friends are real. Like, what is trust? They say you are the energy you manifest, and look what I've summoned up. Been betrayed enough to yank shivs and cleavers from my spinal region and use them to gut you open to end your vital regions. It feels like this madness is rotting my mind, bubbling with hatred and frothing inside. I'm sick in the head and past the point of return. I'm a lost cause, corrupted, poisoned and cursed. And it feels like this madness is rotting my mind, bubbling with hatred and frothing inside. I'm sick in the head and past the point of return. I'm a lost cause, corrupted, poisoned and cursed.
I am Dracula.
They say controlling your emotions is key to mastering your mind, but my thoughts strike so much fear that I'm laughing when I cry. Vomit at rage, disgusted by sadness, infuriated by happiness, despising my bloodline while the cure to hatred is at my wrist. And what's the point of practicing self-control if even when I'm calm, I dissect a pig with precision when they scream for me to stop? And so I bottle problems down, then sit and swallow around it, cause no one who's seen behind my chest plate lives to tell about it. I bet I could aggressively snap the neck of Seneca instantly. Such a peaceful state of mind that the cracks of death men senses up into me. See, without consequences, I wouldn't hesitate to murder you or throw up, cause I'm a different kind of monster. I don't split person from persona. You rap about death, but you spend time putting life into others. I spend my time putting death into my life till it plunders. You're seen as the positive future to end violence under, and I am seen as the frothing lost cause in the crying eyes of my mother. I'm the type of person to catch you lying and bite your throat till it gushes, to make you show your true colors by slicing open your stomach. I shelve my innocence for wisdom, a trait that can snap and attack your faith. So let me just collect these thoughts right after I rack your brains. Have you any idea the evidence behind hell is an invention of the church? A fear-mongering tactic to gain money and bribe peasants for their worth. I was born calm, most start writhing and screams after birth. If I had no pain pre-consciousness, then why would there be afterwards? But I suppose it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Yet when confused, I hammer cross purposes home from the pressure bestowed. Cause I think drugs, science, magic, death, and love when it is curled, plus religion and art are the 7 wonders of the world. It feels like this madness is rotting my mind, bubbling with hatred and frothing inside. I'm sick in the head and past the point of return. I'm a lost cause, corrupted, poisoned and cursed. And it feels like this madness is rotting my mind, bubbling with hatred and frothing inside. I'm sick in the head and past the point of return. I'm a lost cause, corrupted, poisoned and cursed.
That's pure myth, superstition. I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
Shadow X, Kambana, it's Doomsday.
This is how murder should sound. Beat pumping like a heart does when there's serpents around. You could probably hear my nervousness now. I'm like a fish out of water, suffocating like a bird when it drowns. I'll make a snow angel in the ashes from burning the church to the ground. Won't be seen in a circus with clowns. I'm a king with a permanent crown. Last thing I've seen is the semi, like right before the final tournament round. I watch and observe from the clouds, looking down at the earth I was bound. I promise that earth isn't round, and can't bite us both a verb and a noun. I was in the inferno with Dante. If I die, I'm returning as Kanye. I may need to take a rainbow out the sky just to be certain she's not gay. I am the person that God prays to, perfect as virgins on prom day. Surfing her bourbon in Bombay, Papa Perkin do Hercules cosplay. I'm detonating a nuke, I'm Jedi training with Luke and Navy recruits. Devil just gave me a fruit, we in the belly of beast, I'm making them puke. If this is the end of the world and my inevitable death is in sight, I wonder what hell'll be like, cause heaven never sent a special invite. If this is the end of my life and my very last breath is tonight, will I resurrect like a Christ? Start and end it, enter, exit it twice, then start again to get my destiny right. If this is the end of the world and my inevitable death is in sight, I wonder what hell'll be like, cause heaven never sent a special invite. If this is the end of my life and my very last breath is tonight, will I resurrect like a Christ? Start and end it, enter, exit it twice, then start again to get my destiny right.
One wing angelic, one wing demonic, a walking, talking concept of duality, ugly and caustic, so rugged and fucking disgusting and rotten. Creator destined to destroy, hear the saw screeching when the motor's hot, steaming, fogs clearing, blood blots smearing, use reciprocating blades to clocks screaming, life and death go in and out even after they stop breathing. You and I have different definitions of God-fearing. I'm a murderous mamba, words hit like the emergence of lava. I'm a serpent descending a human alive in search of nirvana, a psychedelic conglomeration, spine embedded with knots of hatred, 7 chakras aligned, embellish a type of hellish abomination. My brainstem's writhing, folded, mind is psilocybin molded. If this is the end of the world, then I should bite the bullet. Not for licking shots nor suicide, the coolest way to die's consuming caps till my eyes are soulless.
If this is the end of the world and my inevitable death is in sight, I wonder what hell'll be like, cause heaven never sent a special invite. If this is the end of my life and my very last breath is tonight, will I resurrect like a Christ? Start and end it, enter, exit it twice, then start again to get my destiny right. If this is the end of the world and my inevitable death is in sight, I wonder what hell'll be like, cause heaven never sent a special invite. If this is the end of my life and my very last breath is tonight, will I resurrect like a Christ? Start and end it, enter, exit it twice, then start again to get my destiny right.
I'm giving life an evil twist, constricting a beating heart and squeezing it between the grip of fingers in my bleeding fist. Anything is real if you believe it is. Coming from the underground, you can hear my hungry stomach growl. Y'all are running from the thunder pounds, but I'm the one that summoned what's above the clouds. I make a severed limb effigy praying to ancient gods. They say I'm insane and wrong, my brain isn't tame at all. When I'm begging to make it stop, I put faith into pain and rot. As the ashes descend, I'll be laughing in the burn fume, ravaging and savagely cackling, ready to ravenously purge you. I'll put an end to your family tree, spinal lymphatics what I work through. Go out on a limb and plant the hatchet in your nerve roots. Seed of darkness, spread corruption and germinate. Construction of nothingness from eruptions of worms and snakes, and bubbling repugnant repulsions of what I regurgitate.
If this is the end of the world and my inevitable death is in sight, I wonder what hell'll be like, cause heaven never sent a special invite. If this is the end of my life and my very last breath is tonight, will I resurrect like a Christ? Start and end it, enter, exit it twice, then start again to get my destiny right. If this is the end of the world and my inevitable death is in sight, I wonder what hell'll be like, cause heaven never sent a special invite. If this is the end of my life and my very last breath is tonight, will I resurrect like a Christ? Start and end it, enter, exit it twice, then start again to get my destiny right.
Wax. Confess.
Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, let's start with the base of my spine that wriggles like a huge mamba. The slithering root chakra, survival instinct fume spawner. It urges me to ground my stability in life by drilling into minds. Killing makes it shine. It's how I prevent madness from wilting me inside. And I nailed the red symbolism cause it's dripping out in pools. If I explain my reasoning, it screws the sanity of others via twisting power tools. A corrupted mechanism rattling a broken vertebrae. I am an ogreish brute with a loathsome serpent's brain. So as people walk outside and the grass touches their bare feet, they get the negative ions from the earth and succumb until they're clean. It removes toxins containing the positive charged particles, wobbling off sharp marginal heavy metals like caustic and dark barbados. Muladhara is like a magnet, it'll suck it right out, cleansing the body, replenishing, flush the mind out. But when I walk, worms rise out of now uninhabitable soil. They ravenously roil, wriggling from mud and thrashing into coils. Plants die and flowers wilt and black ripples from a malasana pose. Like 396 bats encircle, clouding off my soul. But let me discuss the next level up, sacral chakra, the orb that women's breasts tremble from. I feel a ravenous urge to dominate and molest, slobbering before I clobber faces with dents. I'm torn inside because part of me wants a partner to explore with, to see the world in that curious connections, harness the endorphins. Yet part of me is absorbed in lust with no interest in intimacy. Only vicious sex that vigorously twists and bends me figuratively. Meaningless pleasure that slowly rots inside the flesh of me, until post-nut clarity sparks aggression and homicidal tendencies. And holding someone close to my chest causes their brain to decay. As they realize my true nature, this isn't a game that I play. Shivering flinches when I brush your hair away from your face, backing away from me slowly when they're where you aren't safe in this place. But you try to keep it cool cause you're afraid to get raped with a blade. Going insane, faking a laugh and smile, you know you can't escape my embrace. And I'm nearly convinced love doesn't exist, it's a lie, fuck you. I'll change my mind when someone I just beat to an inch of their life still utters I love you. So I drown stray animals in freshwater rivers and streams, because I believe the 417th one will deliver the whispers from me. And the flow of water around a thrashing head that's submerged temporarily sets my brain free from this strenuous curse. Or else the voices swarm like flies depending on the phases of the moon. And if I'm too far from water, any form of molestation does it too. Now as orange blood stains dry, I feel cold and wretched. Moving up from Svadhisthana is Manipura, the solar plexus, the keeper of gut instincts, but mine feel like wires and tubes. In order to regulate emotions, you need to apply some pliers and screws. The body's like an engine, each chakra is a piece of the machine, and when one's lacking, the others work harder to keep me on my feet. I feel robotic with 7 switches attached to my skin with strips. My physical form twitches depending on the pattern you flip them in. My self-mastery involves false charisma like Ted Bundy, a charming liar fooled with a smile before neck cutting. I do heinous crimes, Hannibal Lecter, twisted and corrupt. Use a pressure tube to force feed you your own ear, listen to your guts. Diaphragmatic breathing, choking on my own bile, calming myself after gutting you, puddle growing on the floor tiles. Deep inhalations, exhale smoke with embers in the swirls. Benevolent Deva, I'm the ender of the world. Death creeping through the mist is near, sweeping you from bliss with shears. From the elemental kingdom, I'm bringing you the gift of fear. The most beautiful human emotion, blades plunge throughout your chest. Then I start taking shortcuts to the final product when I cut around the edges. Dark magician cause snarling dogs to whine and cry. Birds flap away and squirrels scurry after seeing eye to eye. I'm the master of the savage ways, a bastard with the dragon fangs, a disastrous and volcanic brain, assassin from the ash and flame. I live in the very magma I encapsulate. I'll grab you with arms extended from a sulfur pool and drag you to the astral plane. I'm a smoldering ghoul and my knife loves to fucking make you scream. I walk fear into my mouth that comes at 528 degrees. I manifest shadowy mouths on the surface of desert dunes, like Sarlacc pits or dreadful tombs that yawn with your impending doom. They dissect mindsets and digest light-bent abysmal blight twins. Time vents, only bloody slime gets sky scent. And following this is Anahata, the heart chakra, green glowing from this dark product as I barf lava. I love absolutely nothing, I'm a spectral beast. Violate hitchhikers in the woods till the etheric pressure leaves. Then devour someone's lung while it's still pulsating, ringing out with red, letting it slide down my throat to mock them for breathing down my neck. And I guess before you love others, you must learn to love yourself. But I hate my mind enough to feel like I'm burning up in hell. Ugly and savage, corrupted and hungry for blood like I'm famished. I fucking have to crush and shatter a mirror before I can comfortably pass it. Low lonely as ever. Only talk to those whom I can benefit from. Manipulation tactics projected from a chest that's empty as fuck. So I pour acid into the sternums of others for the adrenaline rush. Deteriorate flesh, bubbling skeletons up. I lunge out from the bushes, putrid, rotten, gross. Puke with froth from throats of your friends when they see me chewing off your nose. I ruin gods and boast, feed kids to ruthless starving goats. And I tie my sex slaves up in my basement in Ustrasana pose. My birth was the incineration of hope, the disintegration of Lotus. I yank ghosts out of flesh and use them as incendiary explosives. Poisonous tongue whiplash the air for obliteration of totems. Leviathan cross exorcise the Holy Spirit, reciprocation of omens. I melt women with hearts in their eyes, or bits of it rather, because that's what it all boils down to when I dip them in acid. Poetic justice, I'll rip a voice box out and toss it sky high from their throat for claiming legendary and air quotes. And love is a chemical concoction of primitive breeding hormones. So I'll just climb inside your corpse and treat it like a bleeding orgone. Necrophiliac, love at first sight might have been at a stranger's funeral. Maniacally digging at the dirt barehanded, the pain is beautiful. When I playfully tell you I'd skull fuck you, I don't mean when you're alive. I'm talking when no skin's left and there's beetles in your eyes. When in the graveyard, drool flows to my neck with ease, because I know to never judge a tombstone by its century. I'm fucking disgusting, an unlovable freak of nature. Fornicate with the same corpse 639 times to build the sweetest flavor. Now prepare for my version of the throat chakra known as Vishuddha. I made a brazen bowl out of a burning monk bestowed in a Buddha. The sounds of the screams are mana purification, allowing strangulation to free my hands from murderous hatred. And as I swallow pride from my throat, I'm surgically shoving creatures in flesh, so you can get a swallow pride from your throat after flutterings in the chest. I'm trying to express myself, having full conversations as plant life. Ivy vines and oak, roiling croak with monstrous hatred for mankind. I speak, but the average ear is unable to comprehend, while tree roots rise by my words as the cables of God descend. Communicating with beings from the fourth dimension. Horrible distortions bend over corpses when I force forward a contorted message, and they respond with orders to sever tongues with gorging blood squirts. As this idea generator vibrates at 741 hertz. Shift like a rumbling engine when one chakra is out of place. The others have to work harder, throttling sprouting flames. Mouth emitting exhaust fumes dispersed from a seizure. Wriggling on the ground, screaming tachyons and currents of ether, while my aura draws forth the slippery tongues of ethereal beings from various realms for ravenous spiritual feasting. Now my vocal vibrations rattle lungs as loose breath movements, and I align the healing charge by giving others blue neck bruises. Plus, I want you people to express disgust with gurgling gag reflexes. Show me how unspeakable I seem with a throat splashing red mist. Make a fan explain the power of my bars with gashes tearing, say it on edge, and address the point of my sharp vocabulary. I'm the worst creature to exist in Kamaloka, a goblin creeping, worse than sacrificing the spawn of incestuous orgies to demonic beings. I'm worse than a Lovecraftian ritual gather, or regurgitate my last selves in each of the 7 states of physical matter. I see phantasmal shapes and shadows with nothing casting them, that scatter from the corners of my vision, erupting blackened mist. Hopeless groans bounce about my skull in reverberating echoes, aware of the inevitable until a murder takes the threshold, and my third eye sweeps over bodies like Sauron's tower. Gaze into souls, and as they melt it sparks off power. I get wisdom from the auras of spirits nearing their death. Ashna headbutt skulls till it crunches and eerily dense. Then I transcend through sound waves, detach from my head, then claw my way toward them through astral projection. I'm sick, my dried out morals are wretched and dying, laughing in a puddle of my blood, but my reflection is crying. When I enter a room, everything turns cold from my leaking carnage. Cuts you open just to stay warm inside from the freezing darkness. My grinding teeth sound like rust-riddled sickle scraping, a little shaky cause I saw the devil while crystal gazing. I know forbidden knowledge that keeps me from sleeping at night, always thinking I can reach from this plight, but I'm sinking inside, trying to rejuvenate this connection to higher guidance, looking towards space, reflecting the contents of my mind beside it. Violet rays emit from my aura, it's a bridge to the cosmos, but ancient things in the void wait for me to ascend to their claw holds. I envision gaseous purple nebulas extending horrible tentacles that creep nearer every time a gong hits, thwarting my ventricles, until each heartbeat flashes the same vision, becoming maniacal, clutching my head as the blood runs up, thumping inside my skull. Every 7 years your bodies fully replenish its cells, renew themselves. Sahasrara spawns ghoulish yelps, see fingers protrude its shell. You need to claw into your own brain to mimic how the movements felt. Skull chunks loosely melt as droplets of violet juices fell, make the temples throb like pillars in a mosque bombing, until I cave paint with my own blood to make the seventh chakra stop rotting. I was just reciting Immanuel Kant's theories to my dead brother's corpse. I mean, he hasn't responded much, but a cockroach did just come out of his mouth, so, you know. Yo. As I sit in the darkness, I scream with twisted curls, writhing at the thought that it's me against the world. As I stare at the carcass, my soul molds first. It's every man for himself on this cold, cold earth. If you think we're friends, deep down I probably hate you, because I'm worthless and use you to self-project all of my pain too. Cause my misconstrued and vile brain is ravenous, treat others how I wanna be treated, but I'm a suicidal sadomasochist. And one could argue that I'm really doing you a favor with murder, because one less human makes the world a better place for the earth. So when you're barely living what I'd even call a life just to begin with, divided and conquered by corrupted societal constrictions, and someone who wants genocide for humans as the form of holy narrative obliterates your philosophy of a categorical imperative. Do you love nature? You really want to protest for the damage, then kill yourself or everyone you know, cause it's best for the planet. I'm itching to purge my sins off from this curse of thoughts. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's the gospel of John 1:1, which insinuates that God and nature are one. With that in mind, I'm a monster who ought to cater to none. For pantheistic belief that all things are bits of one big dark cloud. If the universe was a living organism, I'd rip its fucking heart out. Because then what does it mean to live according to nature, when nature's the most morbid thing that can't fully be absorbed in a paper? You ever seen a herd of penguins brutally peck a chick, molesting, killing them? They gang rape and engage in the most fetidist of necrophilia. Most of our horror movies use nature as inspiration for ideas, and it can't be compressed, so it's always in more wicked frames than we can dream of. Ladybugs, mantids, frogs, chickens, and dragonflies all cannibalize while praised, despite the image that implies. See, I'm genuinely cold and heartless, soul sickened and pale, repeating the toxic traits of others in the form of horrific betrayal. And I could use nature as my own inspiration, so like a margay, I'll mimic the sound of my prey to lure them into letting me bite their heart veins. Did you catch that? Or is this horrorcore community full of idiots too? Hack this, slice that, whoop whoop, the fuck am I listening to? You judge mainstream for lacking the same skills that you lack, and the moronic logic behind that makes me rage filled with fumes packed unoriginal Dr. Seuss rhymes. The hell are we getting out of it? Just because it's dark or edgy doesn't mean it's considered talent, bitch. As I sit in the darkness, I scream with twisted curls, writhing at the thought that it's me against the world. As I stare at the carcass, my soul molds first. It's every man for himself on this cold, cold earth. As I sit in the darkness, I scream with twisted curls, writhing at the thought that it's me against the world. As I stare at the carcass, my soul molds first. It's every man for himself on this cold, cold earth. Whenever I trust my gut, my tongue gets tied with my stomach knots. But if you're trying to tighten your core, I know the ropes of how to cut them off. Looking for a loop in the system of the human anatomy. Instincts tell me nothing is wrong with digging through to your back with ease. Hence I'm like a stoic climbing out of an open carcass drenched in blood. Intestines hung around my neck like sausages. I'm a mess of guts and a lone wolf, because even those closest to me act like sheep. Trust no soul, not even the fans who rap along and act like me. Cause Socrates said if you knew enough you'd never commit an evil act. But I'm studying quantum physics in hopes that others will feel my wrath. My skull is full of negativity and mold, grime, and residue. I'll punch your soul out of your back with your whole life ahead of you. And if evil's real, then God has a duality of practices. Natural disasters are a design that don't actually extract from sin. So when you cross good and bad, the shadows merge and lock and bestowed growth. Like you can find the resemblance in the word of God and my logos. So I respond to divine intervention with unholy retaliation, because his providence questions my soul of its validation. Worshipping Azathoth instead, and a crazy bloodbath. The only good thing Providence ever birthed was H.P. Lovecraft. Perhaps you become the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. That would explain the conflicts that I bend my mind with. My best friend and I tend to rub off on each other, but I fucking hate that. I have a self-disgust and my logic bleeds into others' brains fast. I showed him horrorcore, I showed him his now favorite artists. I showed him the beauty of staring into the face of a carcass. And now I can't tell if doing so ruined his life or made it better, while my selfish mind ignores his cries for help just to make him fester. Because I've spent nights in mental wards after suicide attempts, and I've had voices try to persuade the blade to move inside my neck. I never truly got the help that others felt that I needed. Instead I grew in the shadowy puddle that I fell to my knees in. And now sometimes when I look at him, I see a creation I've conjured, an amalgamation of manifested evil like Frankenstein's monster. And now he's one of the few people who I can actually relate to, but it might only be because of my influence that mashed into his brain too. As I sit in the darkness, I scream with twists and curls, writhing at the thought that it's me against the world. As I stare at the carcass, my soul molds first. It's every man for himself on this cold, cold earth. As I sit in the darkness, I scream with twists and curls, writhing at the thought that it's me against the world. As I stare at the carcass, my soul molds first. It's every man for himself on this cold, cold earth. My mind is so animalistic, I'm basically Neanderthal, fueled by rage, shaking, crazy with my hands and all. I'll come at you with ancient tools made from antlers and stone, and start carving the stars in your skin and in your bones. Like architects chiseling articulate patterns, then bury you alive to fossilize. I'm a ridiculous bastard, pouring all sorts of alchemy potions into the grave that I made, that should preserve my carvings by negative space. I probably got the chemistry half wrong, my idiot mind slow, but I imagine that 1,000 years later they'll still dig you up mind blown. So much acid in my system, I'm practically a fiend. I'll shake my head laughing at a victim with maggots in my teeth, cause I love it when the walls vibrate and all the furniture shakes, blurry traces whirling and curling bricks like the earth when it quakes. And after the tab settle, I feel the energy writhing off of muscle twitches, and once a chisel hits your throat, kaleidoscopic tunnel vision. I get malicious with a pick, I'm morbid and I need some help. I'll move behind a Scorpio and force their hand to sting themselves. Any bitch looking for something deeper than lust, I'm caving in their cracked skull, cause looking into my soul is like gazing in a black hole. I roll corpses over into the deep of their filthy graves, similar to dung beetles navigating via the Milky Way. I take intestines out just because the drugs that I be on let the guts glow and exiting the motherfucking stomach like neon. I'm a monster, black star, have me battling a new mind, as my head violently shakes in the shadows of the moonlight. Plus I get attracted to blood when my heart's under pressure, so I unmask the chest of others to expose ruby like sunken treasure. Colors vibrant, especially in their eyes where they're scoring the knots loose. Now it feels like I'm predicting future murders during my thought loops. Skin people alive just to replenish my grip on reality. That's why I'm smooth and charismatic till you get ripped from this galaxy. Angle a bitch and march, her eyes staring off in space. When I arrange the broken hand of her corpse with the Aries constellation, I'll clench a Pisces and my jaw's wet with glistening gloss, like a grizzly clawing and brushing at it until the wriggling stops. An acid allows the ancient great bear in the sky to truly form. So primal I mistake the meanings and start gnawing tablets of cuneiform. I'll stack corpses up in piles, sunrise meet the ankles where the bones bend. Welcome to the madman's recreation of the Stonehenge. With 3 gels on my tongue I'll pickaxe her body, swing after swing, over and over, scream after scream after scream. Put the mangled cadavers up my sick totems of wicked, then use the length between the corpses to predict solar eclipses. Slice livers hit the exact marks for brutal dagger slice, for the art of archaeo-astronomical human sacrifice. Drag women out to my slaughter stone for removing souls from backs. Their bloodshed was set in stone the second I knew their zodiacs. I'm a hideous beast, a mess of twisted rottenness. I crush bodies by slamming down megalithic monuments. Convinced by LSD that I changed my lunar phases. Sweating and snarling, angry at the moon's arrangement. I'm evil from womb to the tomb without a spirit or a soul. As hyperbolic geometry warbles on my pyramid of skulls. Radiating dark energy crossed with a shrouded message. My cardinal alignment send a pope south of heaven. I'm a heathen with a goddamn devil complex. You can tell by the muscles around my neck that my head is offset. Fuck a devil, I'll attack an occult member with a homemade morning star. Make him flail their arms upon impact till the skull blades torn apart. I'll swing the body by its ankles over their carved satanic patterns till the thuds go from crunch to crumble, then a splash and splatter. Luciferian blood gets in the crevices and settles in the niche veils. Or to put it briefly, the devil's in the details. Black star, malicious visions of a primal image, chiseling written chipped inscriptions like Egyptian hieroglyphic characters in my language, limitlessly depicted by the spit that twists the minds of listeners and constricts their spines as twitches because the receptors can't believe the existence of a cluster of words that arrange enough brute force to leave a bundle of nerves scatterbrained. And when I look up to the sky, my mind connects the dots, forming faces out of space with teeth sprouting from wretched maws. The same faces forming cracks when I shoot through solid rock chunks in my cannibal cave when I map Hindu nakshatras. Aim for the stars covered in blood, reach with blisters holding one knife. Light hits the bones of my first victim at winter solstice sunrise. I'm tripping over thoughts, kicking skulls around the most sinful of bastards. I'll fucking force the sun in your eyes with a ritual dagger. I absorb bad doors from brains using celestial divination as a surge of cubes turn jungle cities to vessels of my hatred. I lobotomize myself with needles of the highest caliber and dug into my own skull, copying the Mayan calendar. That's why I'm crazy and dull and get gory with the sharp rocks, wafting the death from someone's face after euphoria when heart stop. Then I'll tongue fuck the wound that the psychoactive seepage leaks from and chase the dragon over the side of your temple like Chichen Itza. Take my hand on a journey through my malevolent dream house. If we go now, I can show you before the Hellions creep out. There's mythology statues lined up on the sides of the gravel path. Please don't stare into the Egyptian one with the jackal mask. I have a sacred text library containing various pictures pinned to the shelves of holy books and nefarious scriptures. The hollow and cold Templar armor stand as a sword raised to swing with a Bible at his feet written in the blood of rapist priests. Witchcraft books and dark art grimoires and organized sections. Knowledge on top of knowledge next to the sordid mind hexes. The walled cross can't wash my flesh soaked in Christless sin as I flip through Codex Gigas on a stand surfaces stretched over lion skin. Hidden liver next to the Voynich manuscript pulled to make an opening to my malicious altar facing a Shiva statue rotating hopelessly. Gothic chandeliers and dripping wax candles. Victorian rugs under statues of goblins gripping axe handles. One of the neighboring rooms is a physics and chemistry lab. Please ignore the cryo chambers, that's where I keep my enemies at. Jars of animal organs and marinating fetuses under dangling shrunken tribal heads staring blanket sheets and prints. Makeshift solar systems next to human bone wind chimes. The window shines in the pull tide skeleton soulless eyes. Ancient brewing books not far from the wish cauldron adjacent to the dissection table with holding a skinned ostrich. Tesla towers and canisters of what make Jupiter storm red. I have a plaque of the horns from Lucifer's forehead over nuclear warhead. Downstairs lies a guillotine and the blueprints to make one. Electric chair and a brazen bull that moves when it flames up. Paintings for the mentally ill, morbid, disturbing portraits pinned with an Iron Maiden close to the Judas chair and torture whips. Watch your step, the only light down here is this giant plasma ball. I usually stare at this glowing orb whenever I write my raps and all. This is where I study the connections of angels from the Old Testament with protons and electrons. This very tables where my soul left my skin. Come with me through this tunnel, it's just beyond this iron door. You will see my radioactive mutant monster, follow me, I implore. Three-headed dog stable with esoteric quantum particles between the stitches on the neck. Cerberus guards a doctor's arsenal. Nautilus fossils and blood-stained geography maps where paleontology throttles the spinning globe lodged between clasps. A door to the left leads to a personal armory. Blowtorch burns, spark a giant meta life. So far only the torso works. But don't go that way, there's diode logic, carbon and the microscopic arson. You'll burn up, so this way's the psychotropic garden. It's in a a ghastly grass field where the tree's xylem grows dark. The aura of the enclosure's identical to an asylum courtyard. And don't worry, these staked men won't hurt you, they're only scarecrows. But if you lean up against them, you might just get your hair pulled. They've been keeping demonic spirits at bay with hell's cretins ever since I tried a Ouija board on acid and angered 12 legions. Sometimes I feed us all like pit of arms to make sure the LSD is working. And if you take this deterrent plant, you can see it squirming. There's so many drugs that call it the greenhouse where children fly away. And look at all these psilocybin trays, I built them by the way. I even got DMT that'll make you feel like your brain's in a mulcher. But not that box, that's the grenades that I stole from Iranian soldiers. Vibrational forces astounding, my compliments to God as skulls chatter from the echoes of my monastery gong. Take this, you'll feel like a 3,000-year-old bug, immortal in amber. I often trip out here whenever things feel warbled and backwards, watching the ominous clouds forming in orange horrible patterns. Guess I forgot to disconnect the prototype of my portal to Saturn.
Nightmare Castle. Necronomicon, Vlad the Impaler. After absorbing that red, gaseous Agarthan Armageddon, the prayer wheels halted to a stop. The age of Kali has prepared for a stomping in the inevitable march of time. Through rebirth of fossils pulled from the footprints of dancing gods, a storm whirls together, a storm of demonic thunder and jagged spears of lightning.